Hey you guys, it's me Griselda, aka Priestess Lumen Sophia, aka Madam Exorcist. You know, part of the problem with women today is that American women in particular, is they are being led and have been led down a road of spiritual bypass. And the more insulated their lives have been, in other words, the more access to people with status or resources, opportunities for upward mobility, the more they have access to actually not having access to struggle, right? Not having access to being forced to figure out what you're really made of in dire circumstances without any help around you, without being rescued by a man, by your parents, by whatever sort of societal space you occupy. The problem is you have lost touch with your own deeper shadow nature, which is your natural nature, which is the completely uncolonized self. And as a result of that, there's an unconsciousness around our animal truths, who we are as animals. And all of that leads to the gaslighting and denial of a sort of bottom line based human nature, a bottom line based truth of all of us. Okay? Because we have literally been civilized to death. So all I'm saying is, I'm not trying to be negative or get people to feel like I'm trying to get them to become mean or negative. I want you to snap out of this Disneyland in your mind. You know what I'm saying? I want you to understand and think, oh, how am I Disneyfying my mind? How have I Disneyfied my mind? How does, and in the past, how has society and propaganda and education and all these institutions reinforced the Disneyfication of my mind as a woman? How have they reinforced that I am here to fulfill the role of a martyr? It's so everywhere that we can't see it. It takes a lot of work to start to see it. And then when that occurs, it's a profound awakening to the rest of the spectrum of reality of, humanity's truth that we were in denial about, or that was hidden from us, so that we do not build our truths on bedrock. We build them on landfill, which is a fantastical idea, which is an idea rooted in the perpetuation of denial of our shadow selves. It's very insidious how this has happened, and it's very insidious how it continues to happen. And I just have to say this because I've been getting some shit recently by some women who are really great examples of spiritual bypassers. Women who do not even talk about this part of themselves or humanity. I do not trust anyone's wisdom, whether they're selling it or not, that does not acknowledge the animal nature in ourselves, that does not acknowledge the part of us that hates, the part of us that could murder a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I don't trust any woman who doesn't go there, who hasn't been tested enough to understand what that experience is like. I'm not saying that you should become a murderer. I'm not saying you should become an evil person. What I'm saying is that it is best to understand the full spectrum of your own human nature, to return to the root of your human nature. So from that place, you can explore everything else. As long as you know the root, you know where that is. If you don't know the root or not interested in the root, then you're living in denial, and you're perpetuating that denial, and you're putting that denial in everything that you're putting out in the world. And this continues to spiritually bypass all of humanity as a result. You know, women are the ones who birth people, and they pass this on to their children. And then it begets anew every generation. And we become further and further and further removed from the deep secrets of nature, the universal law, which is the only law. Man's law is a farce. The universal laws of nature are the only laws there are. that are unbreakable, immovable, uncompromising. So this is what really annoys me about women who think they're too good to be bad. And I get annoyed and angry, you know, but I also understand how it has happened. Because, I mean, I used to be a little bit that way. I've always been kind of this way. But the older I've gotten and the more I just have to accept that this is the reality of our world. And if you think that any politician, for example, is your friend or has your best interest in mind, they don't. They have the best interest of what's happening in the greater picture of the Game of Thrones. And you're used as a pawn. If you don't know that, then you don't know a lot of things. See, it's got to correspond. It's, you know, the denial and the ignorance has a correspondence. You know, it's not just right here that you're ignorant. This ignorance is perpetuated in the unseen and in the seen as well. This is why we keep manifesting crooked shit. We can't stand up straight. We can't integrate. Okay? So we keep fucking perpetuating the problem without knowing it. And sometimes it's willful ignorance, and sometimes it really is genuine ignorance. Genuine ignorance is totally fine. But the willful ignorance and the willful denial of that part of oneself is stuck in the ego. And egos are just like farts in the wind. Fuck, how boring is that? Get that shit away from me. No one has time to play house. You know what I mean? To make anyone feel good or sort of just like help them lick their wounds while their ego hurts. Fuck that. There's no time for that shit. You're either about it or you're not. So I'm saying that because I've received some messages this morning from some women who were angry about my work and the way I'm approaching it. You're not ready for it then. If you don't like it, guess what? I'm still going to do it. There are a lot of people who are ready for it and who want it. Maybe that's not you. And I don't give a fuck if it's not you. Okay? It's not meant for you right now. Maybe some bad shit will happen to you, and then later on in life you'll look out for me to say, oh shit, you were right. Anyway, wanted to share. Please check your shadow shit. Become interested in it. That's what's going to save the world. All right, bye.